These places are so nasty. It's so odd. All right.
Yeah.
Another follow up here in back in Michigan, Sterling
No, this
Heights. No, wrong one.
no, this is not a this is a new location.
Oh, okay. Just going off the top. What's going on here?
This location, went in there. There's a couple of machines that are down. They're still using all card machine. There's no coin machines in there.
Well, you say
Kind of nasty. Not.
still using as if that's supposed to be a new thing. It just doesn't actually work.
I take that back. They're actually using the card machines for both washers and dryers.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
You can't go
had a
in there
quick
and
chat
spend
with
money.
right.
Those
I
are
had a quick
old
chat with
machines as well, so those have all been upgraded to card. Well, that's probably what they thought. They'd spend $90,000, they'd upgrade it to a card store, and that would save and solve all their problems. Wonderful.
right.
No.
Right. So initially, when I went in there, I thought they had coins. So it was an inconvenience for me because I had to go to the bank, get $3, come back, and use it on their machine to get that card. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Um,
Well, now you know the plight of the laundromat user.
yeah. Now I got your point. And then the dryer was 65 cents, gave me 15 minutes on their machine.
Okay. You can't make money
That's
doing
a,
that. That's insane. All right, you talked to the
yeah.
vape
So
shop and they said the landlord's daughter's number is this. Did you get a name?
no name, no name.
Don't forget, dude, you're leaving the vape shop and you're like, what did I forget? A crack pipe, a sword? No, I forgot to ask her name. All right, here we go. They're hobbling me. My clients are hobbling me.
Hello.
Hi there. I am looking at some commercial space here in Sterling Heights. I wanted to talk lease terms with you. I'm interested in leasing some space.
Which building?
This is Van Dyke. There's a coin laundry here, and there's a vape shop here, if
Yep.
that makes sense. My name's
Yep.
Danny
Yep.
D'Angelo. Who's this? I'm sorry, I didn't get a name.
Ron Iacobelli.
Ron?
Yes.
Hi, Ron.
Ron Iacobelli.
Excellent. I am interested,
I'm the
Ron,
owner.
in the. Oh, nice, very nice. The vape shop gave the number and said it was your daughter, I think. So I didn't actually get a name, but we're all up to speed. Ron, you don't operate the laundromat. You have a tenant there, correct?
Correct.
Here I am asking questions. That's my intrigue, Ron. I'm in the coin laundry business, and I have been for almost 20 years. So my partner and I, we scout existing coin laundries when we see room for improvement. Older equipment, poor operating procedures, out of order signs, all that stuff. I want to reach out to Ron and say, hey, we're interested in signing a lease here, spending the money on washers and dryers, retooling it, and operating. I want to become a better tenant. And that's how I built the preponderance of my locations. And look, to be crystal clear, maybe you love the tenant, they're good, they pay on time, that's your business. God bless America. I wouldn't change a thing. But if in fact maybe it's time for a change, I want to throw my hat into the ring if and when that time comes, if any of that makes any sense.
Uh, well, that laundry recently sold.
Okay.
I don't know too much about the new owner. It was owned for 20 years by Mike Stuckey, who owns Eagle Star Equipment. I don't know if you're familiar with them or not. They're a supply company. They don't really do laundromats. They supply laundromats and dry cleaners.
Right.
But he built it as a kind of a display store to sell equipment. But he since is kind of retired, and he sold that business recently within the past year to somebody else.
Got it.
And I don't know about it. He pays his bills.
Sure.
That's how
No,
know.
firstly, Ron, I appreciate being able to communicate direct with you as it is your building, and you and I would be the power players that would communicate in the future. Let me say this going into the laundromat, I'm with you. You know, I own commercial space as well, and as long as I get my rent and they're not doing anything illegal, I'm thrilled. Uh, what I see just by, you know, we've been in this store physically more than once. We scout them. We want to see not only what goes on a Sunday, which is our busiest day, but a Tuesday. It looks like
Or-
the equipment is exactly 20 years old. It's hard to be profitable. And it looks like somewhere within those 20 years, they've taken out the coin viability. You know, there's no way to go in there with the folding money and do the laundry. They've put in these card readers, which may seem great for you and I, like, hey, it's convenient, use your card, but consumers just don't like it. And I see that as probably another nail in the coffin here. But I'm ranting on with a guy that isn't really too concerned with what Danny has to say. What I'd like to do, I'll send you an email, and if and when something changes, I hope they retool. I hope they spend the money on new washers and dryers and they change everything about the store. Frankly, if they don't, you know, about 60% of the equipment is broken and they use card swipers, which nobody likes. Again, I hope they do well. I really do. But if they don't change some procedures and maybe find some YouTube videos about how to run a good laundromat, they're probably going to end up in arrears with you. And maybe you and I can talk if any of that makes any sense.
Yeah. Actually, as I'm thinking now, there were a couple of kids bought it in the interim. Just coming clear to me. Stuckey retired a few years ago. Time flies. Maybe it's been 2 or 3 years ago, maybe even 4. And he sold it to 2 guys that seemed pretty sharp, young kids. And they kept it for a couple of years and peddled it off to this guy. And the guy
They are sharp.
now,
So
yeah, made a little bit
they,
of,
you know, there's a
so-
lot of ways to make money, Ron, and one of those is buying and selling businesses. You don't really care whether or not the business is maintaining a profit. You know, you're just adding, and I don't mean to laugh at their plight or what's really going on here, but I see
No.
it so often.
dumber than me theory. You just got to find one guy who's dumber than me and pay a little more.
Yeah.
So that's all I know. You know, I don't know. I think this guy who bought it is not real experienced in the laundromat. This might be his first laundromat. I think he's from downriver or something also.
Yeah.
Not really sure.
Well, like I say,
But you-
honestly, I'm not the specter of death. I'm not waiting on people's shoulder for them to fail, but I'm glad I have your number. Do this. Text me your email address if you don't mind when we hang up, and I'll send you an email with before and after
Yes,
pictures
an
of my
email.
stores. Yeah. Because look, I know
Yeah,
what
of
you
your
want.
store.
You want good long-term tenants in your space, whether it's a dollar store, a nail salon,
Well,
or a laundromat.
Well, yeah, of course. You want viable tenants that, you know, thrive and do well. The location's good. I don't think you got too much competition there.
Yeah, we've already done that
where's-
demographic research, and you're correct. But you know what I'm really after? Infrastructure. I don't want to build a laundromat. This place was built 20 some odd years ago. Someone spent $200,000 and they paid the environmental impact fees. So cards on the table, that's what I want.
Yeah.
I'm going to blow out all that equipment, put brand new in there, spend a ton of money, but I'll be spending it right, and I'll be spending it on my partner and I. I won't be spending it on someone else. So the zero sum game for me is simple. I don't buy laundromats. I don't see the need for it. And as they trickle down, they go from operator to operator. They're being sold again and again. Eventually, it goes back to where, hey, why can't I make money? The part of that reason / excuse is that they paid so much for it, they'll never recoup that cost. I consider you a
Yeah.
friend, Ron. Hit me with your email when we hang up, and I'll fire you off a thing. I'm Danny. My
Right.
partner's name is Raheem, and I'll CC him as well. Thanks so much for taking a minute.
Okay. Sounds good. Good
Bye-bye.
talking to you, Dan.
Yeah, same.
Bye-bye.
All right, so there's a classic cold call, right? But it's not really cold because you're out there pounding the pavement, doing the work, talking to the vape shop, and finding the proper contact telephone number for us so that I can talk to the guy. And we thought it was his daughter, but sure enough, it wasn't. It's Ron, the landlord. So now we've got a really good connection. And I don't have this reputation for being a great listener, ask my wife, but this guy wanted to talk. And I was writing notes on here because it's very, very important while they are talking. You know, he gave the first and last name of the guy that built it. He said the business that he built, and I saw your cursor not moving. That's a small thing, but that type of information is gold. You can't find that online. You're not going to be able to see who built it, who owns it now. Oh, when I think about it, some kid sold it in the interim. But remember what you hired me to do, to get into the brain of the landlord or their agent. And I told him, here's what I see. He said, I don't care. Once we hang up, you can note what we actually learned in the call. He said, I don't care. As long as they're paying rent, frankly, I don't even go in the place. Why would you? So I have to prod him. I have to press a nerve, and I have to say, you know what? You should check it out because everything's wrong. The equipment's broken. You know, the color they painted the walls is wrong, and they've switched over from cash to card. And then he came out and said what we already know, what we already understand about this business. It's been sold 3 times. The more it gets sold, the more difficult it is to earn profit because it's the same old store. I don't know what happened. Just being downriver doesn't make the guy, you know, this operator never Googled my name or Googled how to make a better laundromat, or here we would be, right? He'd be watching his store on the YouTube machine. I think, if I am right, that is our last chance for glory, or do we have one more?
Got one more on the bottom.
I'm looking at Pontiac, Michigan, and we have done and said what? Did we talk to this guy?
No, we got his voicemail, and he left a voicemail for him. And he's the agent for that location.
Okay. So same number, we're dialing direct, and hopefully we'll get some traction. Here we go. Stand by. Now's where you subscribe, you bunch of louts. You really haven't subscribed yet. Come on.
Hello?
Peter.
Yes.
Peter, Danny D'Angelo, I'm calling on some commercial space. I am interested in becoming a tenant, my friend. I want to talk rent terms.
Sounds good. How can I help?
This is North Perry. There's actually a Coin Laundry here in Pontiac. I don't know if that's on your radar, frankly, because you actually have a tenant to explain. There's an operator inside of this laundry. It's just a mess. It's got really, really old equipment, et cetera. But to understand, first of all, make sure you're aware of the right address. I'm not sure, Peter, if you handle millions of square feet or what's going on with your portfolio.
Got it. So you're talking about Walton Square?
Yes.
Okay. So in that center, we have one space available.
Well, let me go a little further before you do. I know that, Peter, you're looking at this prism of space available, right? Square peg, square hole. I'm actually interested in the laundry space. So that's what I do. My partner and I are looking to build more Coin Laundromats in Michigan right now. And what we do, we scout stores. We walk inside the laundry. They're open to the public. We see what we can see. And when we see a store like this, Walton Square, we see tons of room for improvement. And frankly, it's just old equipment. That's typically what it is. I don't know the history other than what I see with my eyes. You know, they close the doors at 6 p.m. on weekends. 60% of the equipment is broken. The stuff that's working is 20 years old. Again, I don't know the operator. I'm not trying to put anybody's business practices asunder here, but I know how to run good laundromats. So at the end of the day, if they have good term, if they're paying on time and they're a lovely tenant, God bless America. I wouldn't change a thing if I were you. Now, to be frank, I'm not looking for rent rolls. I'm not asking Peter to tell me what's going on with that client. That's all up to you. Understand what's happening. I just want to sign a lease if and when the time comes, change the outlook of the store with new equipment, spend a few $100,000, and run another successful laundry, if that makes sense.
Got it. So I'm just the broker on the center. I don't own it. And I've never talked to this tenant.
Sure.
I don't have their lease information because we're not selling the center.
Makes
so I'm only
perfect
marketing
sense.
the vacant space.
Yeah. And I didn't mean to interrupt you. I own commercial spots as well, so I get it. You know, they parcel out. You've got a landlord, you've got you, the broker who handles empty space, and then somewhere you have a property management team. Let's do this. I've got your cell phone, you've got mine. I'm not, again, looking for specifics here, but what I'd like to do is send you an email. And hell, you know, you can go into the Monday meeting with the landlord and say, "I've got an idea. We've seen the rent rolls, the laundromat's failing. Let's plug in a new, very, very strong operator," or not. You know, either way, you're the only guy whose number I have, so I'd appreciate if you do a little digging for us. And you know, why not? Or maybe, Peter, you come across a laundry across town, or really anywhere in the tri-state area, and you say, "Hey, this place is a wreck." I mean, we're going all the way up into Canada. So at the end of the day, infrastructure. It's not location that we're after.
Sure. So yeah, if you can send me an email, I'll talk to the landlord about it because I don't know when their term is up or what, are they paying? Are they not paying? Are they paying under market? I have no idea. But I can give him that information. So if he wants to make a change with the tenant, then we have something to talk about.
Brilliant. I like your style. I appreciate you. Text me your email when we hang up, and I'll fire you off a thing, and let us know.
Sounds good. Thanks, Danny.
Chin up. Talk soon. There you have it. So 2 fairly textbook calls in a row. Now, are you scooping up this particular store? I don't know. You don't know. And more importantly, you found the right broker, not a salesman who's selling the business, not that type of broker. It means he's a real estate agent with tons of initials after his name. And that broker is going to look into it. And he kind of chortled when I said, go into the Monday meeting and kick the door in and become the hero. Why not? He just texted me his email address. So I'll hit him with an email. I will CC you. And more importantly, keep scouting, keep putting stores in front of me. Appreciate your time.
Okay, thanks.
Talk to you soon. Making these connections is really, really important. And look, I've been very purposeful to put the screaming matches into little short videos on YouTube. I've been a marketing guy my whole life. How's that possible? Come on. You never try to date the cutest girl in class? You're marketing yourself. You never try to change your C- to a B+? You're marketing yourself. Being a salesman is not a bad thing. If you sleep at night because you never sold anyone a bill of goods, the way you get there, morally correct, a compass, what's the problem with being a salesman? My first paid job as a salesman, 14 years old, knocking on doors with a little metal box with black and white spray paint and a set of numbers from Home Depot. "Hey, I noticed the numbers on your curb are chipping. I can't even read it. How are you going to get your packages? My name's Danny. Can I spray paint the numbers? How much?" That's sales. Why did they ask how much? You know they're going to give you the money. $7. That's too much. You're going to get the sale. It's going to take me 5 minutes of my time. I could do it for 5. That's the best I can do. You never say that. I learned those lessons the hard way. The next door, I wouldn't say it's the best I could do. I could do 5. If I get less than 6, my dad will beat me. My dad was gone by then. This is freelaundromat.com. This is the way it works. I'm marketing the epic failures when I'm calling and people are screaming at me. No. YouTube decided it wants to do short videos, and I said, "Oh, I got you. I got screaming matches. I don't go to car races to watch crashes, but the preponderance of the public do. I'll help you out, YouTube. I'll give you some TikTok content. The reality, I've minted hundreds of millionaires all over the world because folks like Raheem have hired me to do a job, and I do it well. Today, we made two good connections that will eventually lead to long-term leases and retooled laundromats that are earning tons, period. How could I say that? Because nothing lasts forever but my marriage. I'm Danny D. Get the course.